Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is May 30th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. I noticed I said yesterday this is more sinister than it looks. It's actually not as sinister as it looks. It has helped spreading some moisture in the atmosphere back across the region here and will spawn some thunderstorms across the higher terrain. But for the most part, it's not a big weather maker for Southern California other than kind of enhancing some of the marine layer here across the region. We'll also take a look at the temperatures coming up here. We'll talk about El Nino a little bit. We've got some new data on that as well. This is looking at the visible satellite imagery, and you can clearly see all the eddies and the spins and the marine layer all the way down the coastline from Northern California all the way down through Southern California here, trying to burn off as we go into the later morning and afternoon hours here. And we are going to develop some thunderstorms again across the higher terrain again today here across the Sierra Nevada, Northern California, and even out into some of the higher terrain towards the coastal regions here too. We'll take a look at that in a moment. This is looking at National Weather Service Los Angeles and Tuesday afternoon, LA, Ventura, Barbara Mountains here. You can see thunderstorms may produce heavy downpours, strong gusty winds, dangerous cloud to ground lightning there. So heads up for that. Nice graphic here from the National Weather Service Los Angeles. This is Sacramento, and you can see it does include Redding here and a lot of the Sierra Nevada here. And you can see afternoon and evening Tuesday, and again tomorrow we're going to do that threat again as well. This is looking at Hanford National Weather Service, and you kind of see that down here across Taft, Fraser Park here, including even some I-5 there. Potential for a thunderstorm or two as you go through the day today. Not expected to be severe, but you could still get some dangerous lightning out there and some flooding and some gusty winds. This is looking at day one. You can kind of see a little circle again there with the thunderstorm potential, and again across Northern California down through the Sierra Nevada. Here's day three. Actually, it's back up to day two here, and you can kind of see something similar across the Sierra Nevada. And day three again as you go on in through Thursday morning through Friday morning, including a lot of Nevada and the Sierra Nevada here. This is looking at the entire state here, and similar to yesterday, we were right about 28 inches here, still above the 90th percentile here. We're usually down to about 5 inches here across the state. Most of the snow is usually gone by this time, but we're still doing pretty well up there, so we've still got some snow to melt. And, we've still got some nuisance flooding out there right now. And, of course, Lake Tulare is reemerged across some of the valley area out there. So, yeah, interesting winter here coming up. We are below that record high amount of snow water equivalent across the higher terrain there, but we're still above the 90th percentile. Now, taking a look here, this is the European. Yesterday afternoon, you can kind of see this general troughing from California all the way out towards Hawaii. And, of course, this is being theorized to be because of El Nino down there. This warm water, this warm temperature out here causing the enhanced gradient, powering the subtropical jet stream back into North America here. So if we put this into motion, you notice this troughing kind of hang out and bringing these weak systems that rotate through the southwest here and kind of continue on here as we go on in through next week as well with that subtropical jet stream and the developing El Nino already having some effects being felt here across North America. And then you can kind of see this low pressure center still spinning here with the ridge developing over the Pacific Northwest well off into the extended. This is looking at that jet stream here at about 18,000 feet. And you can see that subtropical jet is kind of powering into Baja there, Mexico. And yeah, you can kind of see the continuation of these systems here that roll around, probably due to that developing El Nino. Something interesting here too, when we fly a lot of Mexico flights out of Seattle or Los Angeles, they'll get this kind of turbulence here with this persistent subtropical jet stream here across Baja, Mexico. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting feature there, the subtropical jet stream, and it is being energized this year anyway due to that developing El Nino. This is looking at that warm water across the equatorial Pacific and kind of imagine that warm water, kind of like a steamy bath out there, kind of powering that warm air here. And then there's going to be a gradient going across the region here because of the development of this El Nino. This is looking at precipitable water. And you can kind of see the above average moisture across the atmosphere helping to spawn some of these thunderstorms. Seems like on a daily basis here, especially across the higher terrain. And as we scroll out, you'll notice that precipitable water still hanging out here as we go on into next week as well. You can kind of see this across the region here. So you can't rule out some thunderstorms here as we go into the following week as well. We are looking 200 hours out here, but pretty persistent signal there with that subtropical jet stream continuing to bring that moisture into the southwest portion of the USA from time to time anyway. And this is looking at the NAM3KM. We put this into motion as we go through the afternoon today. You can see some of these thunderstorms develop across the higher terrain here, maybe a thunderstorm or two, like I mentioned, across some of the mountains here towards the coastal area. And as we go on into Wednesday, we're going to do it again. You can see some of these storms pop up here as we go through Wednesday afternoon, including portions of Nevada here too, maybe even down towards Las Vegas, some of the higher terrain. Can't rule out a thunderstorm or two. And as we go on into Thursday, something similar here. You can see the thunderstorms pop up across the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada and kind of moving off to the east by that point here. But look at Nevada, kind of, it's a little bit unusually moist out there with that precipitable water. Nevada is one of the driest states in the USA, but so they're probably enjoying this rain out there quite a bit. This is looking at daily max 2-meter temperature, and you can see this would be for today. Coastal regions are going to have a hard time coming up here for at least the next week or so, breaking out of that marine layer. You can see the much warmer temperatures across the desert, through the valley areas here, and across Nevada. Put that into motion for tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can kind of see the warm-up going on here, but you know where to go if you want to cool down. That would be the coastal regions here, but you see a lot of mid-90s across some of the valleys and up towards 100 for the desert areas. There you go, Sunday. Look at that, 99. I think that's out towards Bakersfield here, some mid and upper 90s here. So some pretty warm temperatures coming. Look at Death Valley really starting to bake here too, probably looking at 110 plus here by the time you get towards the weekend. So yeah, be ready for that out there across the desert. So you just scroll forward here, you can kind of see a little bit of a relax in those temperatures here as we go on in through early June, but still quite warm for many areas. This is looking at total precipitation in inches, the GFS, last night's run. If we put this into motion here, you're going to see that activity across the higher terrain there. And then you see the Santa Barbara Mountains out here might get some precip as well. And then we'll scroll ahead here, and now we're just going to fly through this forecast here, and you can kind of see the enhancement due to that precipitable water around here. Look at Nevada, getting some nice rainfall out there, the Sierra Nevada as well. And this looks like it's going to continue this pattern as we go on in through the following week here as well, as the higher terrains picking up that precipitation here with those thunderstorms on a daily basis almost all the way out through the 15-day period. This is looking at max temperature departure from average. And you can see a lot of California has been below average here for the last 30 days. This goes through April 30th through May 29th. You can see some of Southern California. Look at that, 4 to 6 degrees below normal here. Even a little spot down there across, what is that, Whittier, California, maybe some of Orange County there, like 6 to 8 below average here. Some of Northern California trending above, maybe the desert's a little bit above average here, but a lot of California below average here for the last 30 days. This is precipitation. Look at the wild swings in some of this here. As you can see, some of Southern California here the last 30 days has been well above average here, but it's kind of hit and miss as you go northbound a little bit here and across some of the southern Sierra has been pretty dry, relatively speaking, over the last 30 days. Now, this is looking at El Nino watch. We have a greater than 90% chance of El Nino persisting into the northern hemisphere winter here coming up. So most likely we are headed towards that El Nino. And what defines an El Nino here is that forecasts must persist for 3 consecutive months where the equatorial Pacific gets above 0.5 Celsius. Right now we were at 0.5, we dropped down to 0.4, but we are going to bounce back here. But we're technically not reaching that criteria as of yet. Once we hit that 0.5, we're in El Nino conditions across the equatorial Pacific, but it's not officially an El Nino until it persists for 3 consecutive months. This is looking at the forecast here, and this is headed towards strong El Nino territory. You can see July, August, September, October, November, December, January, that warm tongue extending across the equatorial Pacific, clearly a sign of a classic La Nina setting up here, and we'll monitor that, of course, as we go through the next few months. So anyway, yeah, if you're on the back country there, watch out for those thunderstorms again, and trying to kick that marine layer out. It looked like we might be doing it as we go through the weekend, but not so sure right now. That is a persistent feature out there, and this upper level low is not helping here. We need some more offshore wind component to things here to really break up that marine layer. So it's probably going to be pretty close to the coastline here for the next few days at least. We'll watch to see if that changes, and we'll continue to watch these systems roll through here, and maybe Nevada can get some above average precip here over the next few weeks as well. Some of the higher terrain also. The snow is melting across the Sierra Nevada, so lots to look at here weather-wise across the state of California. I'll keep doing these updates as warranted, and I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'll probably be out chasing here as we go on into the later portion of this week, and I will do briefings on the road. I'll bring my equipment with me out there, or at least my mobile equipment out there. So anyway, I'm not sure where I will be just yet, but yeah, I'll probably be out chasing for a couple of days here before things quiet down a little bit more, and then maybe pick back up again there through mid-June. So anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.